Hello everyone, my greetings to all. I would like to present on Section 194IA of Income Tax Act 1961. TDS under Section 194IA basically relates to TDS on real estate transactions. Real estate sector has come up a long way to be the largest growing market in the world. It contributes approximately 5% to the national GDP of India. Due to the magnitude of these transactions, financial ministers had given due weightage to systemize the taxing provisions of this industry. And the introduction of Section 194IA in Finance Bill 2013 is a step taken to monitor all the high-value transactions that take place in the industry. And hence, we need to understand very closely what this section is all about. Now, we should understand the applicability of this section. As per the provisions of Section 194IA, any person who purchases a property, an immovable property other than agricultural land, for a sale consideration of more than rupees 50 lakh, he needs to deduct tax at source while paying or crediting the books of accounts at 1% of such consideration. Now, the exemption limit, the threshold sale limit is rupees 50 lakh. Any transaction involving amount greater than rupees 50 lakh will attract the provisions of Section 194IA. And the rate of TDS will be 1% of such transactions. However, if the seller does not have a PAN number, then the rate of TDS will be 20% of the transaction amount. Also, if the seller is a government, then the provision of this section will not be applicable as the government is not a person. Now, what is the time of tax deduction and what is the due date to deposit such tax deducted to the IT department? Now, tax needs to be deducted at the time of payment to seller or at the time of crediting the amount in the books of purchaser, whichever is earlier. After the deduction of tax at source, the same should be deposited to the department by the 7th of the next month. That is, if the transaction takes place in the current month, then the tax deducted needs to be deposited to the IT department by 7th of the next month, and it should be deposited, and the challan and statement form must be in Form 26QB.
Start.
Now, issue of TDS certificate. Every purchaser of property who has deducted TDS under Section 194IA needs to issue a TDS certificate manually in Form 16B to the seller of the property by 22nd of the next month. That is, if the transaction has taken place in the current month and the tax has been deducted and deposited to the IT department, then the purchaser needs to provide TDS certificate in Form 16B that contains details of the deductor, deductee and a summary of the transaction, and needs to be submitted to the seller by 22nd of the next month. Now, TDS return. As we know that we need to file TDS return quarterly when we deduct TDS. However, under the provisions of this section, if the TDS has been deducted, then there is no need to file quarterly TDS return, as the TDS challan cum statement that is submitted, that is Form 26QB, contains all the details required to be furnished in TDS return, like names and complete address of transferors and transferees, address of the property, total consideration, terms of payment, etc. Now, non-compliance of this section. In case of failure to comply with the provision of this section, interest and penalty would be imposed to the purchaser. Interest will be charged at 1% per month or part of the month for failure to deduct tax or short deduction of tax from the date the tax was deductible till the date the same is deducted. Interest will be charged at 1.5% per month or part of the month if part of the month for tax deducted but not paid to the government from date of deduction till date of actual payment. Now, there are certain issues to be discussed under section 194 IA. Now, for example, in case of a property financed through loan, most of the times a purchaser purchases his immovable properties like flats or their dream homes through bank finances. What happens in such cases? Usually the payment is made on installment basis. Now, as per the provisions of this section, whenever the bank transfers the proceeds to the seller of the property, the bank needs to deduct TDS at 1% while transferring the proceeds to the seller and deposit the same to the respective department of government for each installment. In case the property is financed jointly by or there are co-owners, in such cases also, if the aggregate value of the transaction exceeds rupees 50 lakhs, then the TDS must be deducted. For example, say Mr. A and Mr. B jointly purchase a property for say rupees 60 lakhs from Mr. C. Now the share of Mr. A be 35 lakhs and share of Mr. B be say 25 lakhs. In these cases, the individual amounts are lesser than rupees 50 lakhs. However, the total aggregate transaction for the transaction amount for the property exceeds rupees 50 lakh. Hence, both Mr. A and B needs to deduct TDS at 1% on rupees 60 lakhs. Now, if there are multiple sellers and the purchaser is one, what happens in such cases? Say for example, a property is bought for rupees 60 lakhs and there are two sellers. Mr. A purchases the property from Mr. B and Mr. C. Mr. A pays Mr. B rupees 35 lakhs and to Mr. C rupees 25 lakhs. In this case, TDS needs to be deducted on both the amounts separately and to be deposited to the government department. Now, there are certain other issues. For example, in case when the property is purchased on installment, TDS is to be deducted on every installment and every payment. Now, this increases the compliance procedures. The procedural compliance is burdened even in the case of joint sellers and buyers, as we discussed now. Now, in case of cancellation of transaction or booking, procedure for claiming refund has not yet been prescribed. In case of sellers claiming exemption under section 54, 54 EC, 54 F, they have to claim refund by filing the return of income. Till the time the refund gets invested with the revenue department for a return of 6% per annum, which is even lower than the treasury rates. As per section 199, read with rule 37BA of the Income Tax Act, a person can avail the credit of TDS in the year in which the income is accessible. In case of real estate developers who follow project completion method and recognize the revenue only when the project gets completed, claiming of TDS refund in the year of completion will be a procedural nightmare. They have to claim the TDS refund on each year during the construction stage. Section 194A thus becomes a pain to parties, however, again to taxing authorities. It is a pain to parties as the procedural requirements creates a lot of burden, and again to taxing authorities as they get to know the high value transactions and also a share and also a good amount of revenue is collected through this section. I would like to conclude with these words that this section will definitely help to keep a proper track on all high value property transactions in the country and will give the taxing authorities the details in a systematic way. But for the property buyers, the newly inserted section puts additional compliance burden which they have to be compliant on a timely manner to prevent